What's up, YouTube? We're out here with the pit bulls. Sorry I haven't had a chance to make videos, but I have a chance today. Thank God, because it's Friday, so decided to make a video for you guys. And today's video is going to be about facts and myths on heartworms, as well as heartworm testing. So basically, I'm doing this video because I was inspired by it after I took my dogs for their annual heartworm test. So every year I make them get heartworm tested, in case medication fails or whatever the circumstance is, because my dogs are outside dogs, so it's important I get them heartworm tested. And so I took them, and thank God everything was negative. They were good. I got more heartworm prevention medication, and that inspired me to do a video, because when I had dogs, when I was younger, I didn't know much about heartworm testing, and I never took my dogs to get heartworm tests. When I was a child, like 12 and 15 years old. So yeah, we're just here with the pit bulls. I thought you guys get a nice shot of them, since they got showered yesterday. Unfortunately, Yogi got freaking dirty. His back is dirty. You'll see that a little bit later. But heartworms in dogs are very easy to prevent, but difficult and costly to cure. That's true. I paid a lot for my dog's medication. I paid close to $100 for a yearly supply of medication for heartworm prevention. So it is costly, but it's worth it. I mean, your dog lives a lot healthier life and so basically it is expensive. And some common questions are, how do dogs get heartworms? I didn't know this, so I did a little bit of research, because I'm not too familiar with heartworm testing. I had never done it in the past, but I knew it was important after seeing my vet a few weeks ago, and they recommended that I schedule heartworm testing for my dog. Anyway, so only by the bite of an infected mosquito. There's no other way dogs can get heartworms, and there's no other way to tell if a mosquito is infected. That's why prevention is so important. And so that's why, look at him, photo bombing. So yeah, look, he's not camera shy at all. He got used to seeing the camera. But yeah, only if the mosquito is infected and it bites onto your dog, then your dog is at risk of getting heartworms. So yeah, heartworm disease has been reported in all 50 states, and the bite of just one mosquito infected with a heartworm larvae will give your dog heartworm disease. And I don't know if you guys seen a picture of a dog's heart filled with heartworms. It's pretty disgusting. They had it at my vet. They had a picture right there of a dog that had a surgery because of all the heartworms in his heart, and it was pretty nasty. I just couldn't imagine my dog's going through that, so that's why I take really good care of him. And look, you see how he got dirty right there? That little dark spot right there? Because he's laying under the cars that we do mechanic on. So, but other than that, he looks clean. I mean, I'm pretty happy with him. He's looking a lot cleaner. Look at that, smiling. Look at her. She's like, man, you give him all the attention. He's like, man, I'm the attention getter. And she's like, nah, I don't think so. I think they love me. Nah, but so anyways, yeah, that's something very important. Considering my dogs are outdoor dogs, so they're constantly being exposed to mosquitoes and things that could bite them at night. So that's why I got the heartworm prevention, as a leeway around that. Otherwise I would have them inside, but Yogi sheds like crazy inside. That's just a pit bull thing though. But let me not get off topic. And heartworm disease has been reported in all 50 states, and the bite of just one mosquito infected with the heartworm larvae will give your dog heartworm disease. Heartworm disease has not only spread throughout the U.S., but it's also now found in areas where veterinarians used to say, oh, we don't have heartworm disease. Areas like Oregon, California, Arizona, and desert areas where irrigation and building are allowing mosquitoes to survive. And if you have mosquitoes and you have animals, you're going to have heartworms. It's just that simple. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Look at him, he's looking nice. So bright white coat. Look at you, boy, you're looking so clean. So yeah, but anyways, sit boy, sit. See, he wants attention. Sit. He's like wondering, why aren't you petting me? So yeah, it takes about 7 months once a dog is bitten by an infected mosquito for the larvae to mature into adult heartworms. Then they lodge into the heart, lungs, and surrounding blood vessels and begin reproducing. Adult worms can grow up to 12 inches in length, can live, I took notes about this. Look at him. Adult worms can grow up to 12 inches in length, can live 5 to 7 years, and a dog can have as many as 250 worms in the system. So imagine 250 worms in your heart, like in your heart vessels, you know. It's pretty, in your heart valves, all the way down inside the heart. It's pretty nasty. I mean, like I said, I saw a picture of a dog that had had surgery at my vet, you know, and it's pretty nasty. It's nothing nice to see, you know. No dog deserves that. So, yeah. And then another question that is very commonly asked, based on my research that I did, because I took notes on my phone, can people get heartworms from their dogs? And this is a question I forgot to ask the veterinarian, so I did a little bit more research, which inspired me to do this video. So it can only be passed on by mosquitoes. It's a specific parasite that only affects dogs and cats and ferrets and other mammals. In rare cases, heartworms have infected people, but it does not complete its life cycle. Heartworm will migrate to the lung and cause a round lesion that looks like a tumor, but these are very rare cases. So no, it doesn't necessarily cause, you know, heartworm disease on humans, but in very rare cases it has almost reached, you know, the full life cycle of the larvae to grow inside a human, but not necessarily. So nothing big to worry about. But again, you can prevent all this from getting heartworm prevention medication. So yeah, another question, if one of my dogs has heartworms, can he give it to my other dogs? Answer: no. Again, the only way heartworms are transmitted is through the bite of an infected mosquito, and even if an uninfected mosquito bit your dog and then bit your uninfected dog the same night, he wouldn't transmit the parasite from one dog to the other. That's because when a mosquito bites an infected animal, the heartworm needs to undergo an incubation period in the mosquito before the mosquito can infect other animals. Another common question: is it okay to adopt a dog with heartworms? It's a very simple, common problem in animal shelters today, and public shelters rarely have the money to treat heartworm disease. It's perfectly acceptable to adopt a dog with heartworms, but you have to be dedicated to having the disease treated appropriately, because it's a horrible disease that can lead to dog's death if left untreated. So yeah. How can I prevent my dog from getting heartworms? For less than the cost of going to Starbucks for a weekly coffee, you can prevent heartworm disease in your dog. There are monthly pills, monthly topicals that you can put on the skin, and there's also a 6-month injectable product. So there's various low-cost options for heartworm medication. If you guys are interested in it, all you gotta do is visit your vet. My vet, they know me, my dogs and me very well. So, you know, I'm very friendly with them. They just recommend me, you know, what I can afford and what's good for the price. So the damage that's done to the dog and the cost of the treatment is way more than the cost to prevent heartworm disease. A year's supply of heartworm preventer will cost about $35 to $80 depending on a dog's weight. So yeah, that's pretty close. You know, mine costs close to $100, as I mentioned earlier, but 35 to 80 is very cheap if you can find it on that. And according to this, is based on your dog's weight, which, you know, when I went to the vet, Nala was the only one that was a little bit overweight. She was overweight by like 6 pounds, so I'm trying to get her down. And I had a few people comment that, you know, your dog's overweight, your dog. I'm like, I know. And then they'd get mad. I'm like, I'm agreeing with you, you know, I'm recognizing my dog's overweight. That's why I feed him less. He just, you know, I feed him less. So yeah, another question: what are the symptoms of heartworm infections in dogs? Initially, there are no symptoms, but as more and more worms crowd the heart and lungs, most dogs will develop a cough. As it progresses, they won't be able to exercise as much as before. They'll become winded easier. With severe heartworm disease, we can hear abnormal lung sounds. Dogs can pass out from the loss of blood to the brain, and they can retain fluids. Eventually, most dogs will die if the worms are not treated. Another question: once my dog has heartworms, what's the treatment? How much will it cost? The drug that you treat with is called imiticide. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that. Imiticide. IMMITICIDE. That's the name of it. It's an injectable arsenic-based product. The dog is given 2 or 3 injections that will kill the adult heartworms in the blood vessels of the heart. The safest way to treat the heartworms includes an extensive pre-treatment workup, including x-rays, blood work, and all the tests needed to establish how the serious infection is. Then the dog is given the injections with all the prep work. It can run up to $1,000, but just the treatment can be done for about $300 in some areas. Why do I have to keep my dog quiet during the several months he's being treated for heartworms? After treatment, the worms begin to die, and as they die, they break up into pieces, which can cause a blockage of the pulmonary vessels and cause death. That's why dogs have to be kept quiet during the treatment and then for several months afterwards. Studies have shown that most of the dogs that die after heartworm treatment do so because the owners let them exercise. It's not due to the drug itself. So yeah, I did not know. This is all stuff I'm learning, when I was researching. So it was very, enlightening and very informative, and I really appreciated, doing my actual research to learn this stuff. So if my dog is diagnosed with heartworms, can I just give him his monthly preventative instead of having him to go through treatment? Won't that kill his heartworms? Studies have shown that if you use ivermectin, ivermectin, that's the name of it, in case I pronounce it wrong, the common preventative on a monthly basis in a dog with heartworm disease, after about 2 years, you'll kill off most of the dog's young heartworms. The problem is, in the meantime, all of those heartworms are doing permanent damage to the heart and blood vessels. So yeah, but if there's no way someone can afford the actual treatment, at least use the preventative on a monthly basis. Could be a lesser alternative. So yeah, those are just a few of the common questions that I researched. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other information you guys could find, rather it be, a friend who's a veterinarian, or, just basic heartworm knowledge that But yeah, that was just always something I struggled with. I had never done my actual research on what heartworm disease was on dogs. So yeah, I hope this video was very educational. It was very enlightening on me, and it made me, really want to care for other people's dogs. Like if my dogs, could be at risk for it because they're outdoor dogs, I figured I might as well, do a video to help you guys out who have dogs that are outdoor dogs or even indoor dogs. Maybe you take your dog out for a hike on the weekend, it gets bit by a mosquito you didn't even know, and 7 months later it's kind of coughing and be losing its breath a lot easier when you take it out to exercise, and you're wondering what's going on, like, is my dog dying, and is my dog getting old fast? And then you realize he has heartworm disease. So that's why I do these videos. I just try to help you guys out, help your guys' dogs out. If I care about my dogs, I care about your dogs, because I love animals. So yeah, I'm pretty glad I got them heartworm preventative medication again. It's a test that I wanted them to give for a while now, but thank God it was negative, so I have nothing big to worry about, and I just keep them on their monthly meds for a year, and then I get my other supply next year. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe, and if you're a new viewer, hit the subscribe button below in the description, and God bless and have a good day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.